Hello friends, welcome back to all of you on this program again called Salam. And today we have very special guest, Mr. Hassan Al-Sedky from Egypt. And it's greeting to you, my brother from Salam. Welcome you on this program.
Thank you, Shams. It's great to be here. It's kind of very interesting to do this. I haven't done this before.
Yeah, even I'm like doing this is my second international call and I can say interview. So I'm so excited.
Sorry?
I'm so excited because this is my second international interview with you. So yeah, and guys, we would like to tell you that if you have not subscribed this channel, I request you to please subscribe it so that you will get all the extraordinary stories on this channel. So we will talk with Hassan and Hassan. I will not take you too much in details, but yeah, today it's a show in which you will be speaking about yourself. So I request you to please, I will go like this, like first question for you is, where do you born and which country?
I was born in Cairo, Egypt. I've lived there most of my life. Yeah.
Okay, and tell us one best childhood memory.
Uh, I think I think one of my favorite memories is just going to the beach with my family during the summers when I was younger. It's a big thing in Egypt here that during the summers you go and spend time on the coast. So naturally, as a family, we used to do that a lot, and definitely my favorite time as a kid.
Yeah, I think Egypt is a very historical country because a lot of prophets and a lot of big kings have been on that earth. So it's very interesting country. I would love to visit sometime. But here we go. The next question for you is
Yeah,
Hassan. What is your favorite sports?
I think you already know the answer to this one. It's definitely wheelchair basketball.
Wow. So have you been always playing this wheelchair basketball or what was your
No,
childhood sports?
no, my childhood sport was basketball.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I used to play basketball, and then after my injury, I got injured when I was 18 years old. So part of my rehab was to get introduced to different sports, and one of them was wheelchair basketball. So naturally, I just fell in love with the game. I think because I was already playing basketball before, but also it's like a very high intensity game. So the rest is history.
Yeah, I can understand. And now, what do you feel like, Hassan? This question is very. I should not ask, but yes, to know the people, they should understand. You said when you got disability, you were just 18 years old. So, can you please tell us how did you got this disability and what kind of disability you are having?
Yeah, for sure. So I got injured when I was 18 years old in a car accident. I pretty much shattered my spine from from the chest down. So now I have no feeling below my a little bit below my chest, and can't move or sense anything underneath that level. I think it's been 7 or 8 years now, and yeah, that's
Yeah,
about it.
so the audience, people, those who are watching this, I would love to request you all guys that see, most of the car accident and bike accident happen, and it's happened generally for the youth, teenagers. So we request you, because we know that we have gone through this kind of disability and this kind of situation. So please wear helmet and safety tips whenever you are driving or whenever you are going out, because which is very, very important nowadays. Back in India also, if we talk about safety, that most of the people getting injured because of road accident. So please wear the safety belt whenever you are driving. This is my humble request to all of you. So we will go ahead, Hassan, and I would like to ask you a few more questions. So how about your education? When did you join UTA? Tell us something, the best college memory.
I joined the UTA in 2014. It was a part of I was in college for 2 years before that, but I wanted to play wheelchair basketball on a higher level, so I pretty much went in online and started looking for schools that offer wheelchair basketball programs. And I messaged Doug Garner. He's a great guy, super helpful. And as soon as I messaged him, he started giving me some info about the school, how I can apply, info about the team, what I need to be doing to get there, and made my life super smooth, super easy. And since then, I went there. I got my bachelor's degree and my master's degree over there, and that's it.
Wow, super, super. Yeah, I know. I remember my times with you and the other team members at UTA. I know UTA is very accessible. I would love to know a few things back in Egypt and Turkey. Can you please tell us, are you still able to do your day-to-day life activities by your own? And how is the accessibilities in Egypt?
Yeah, I do everything on my own, more or less. In Egypt, it's a little bit harder, obviously, than in the US. Things are a little bit less accessible here. So there comes a time when you definitely need someone's help if you're going upstairs or downstairs, because not every place here has a ramp or elevators or stuff like that. But for the most part, for moving around, I would say that people can be completely independent, or like 70 to 80% independent if they choose to be.
Great.
It's I think to me it's a matter of just looking at things from a different perspective, and trying to be a little resourceful when you're trying to find uh, when you're trying to find a different way or a new way to do something that you did before. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I can understand accessibility issues is everywhere across the world, and it's all how we are dealing it and how we are showcasing it to the people, and then how we are building a bridge for the next generation. That is what most important. And I believe in you, my brother. You are doing amazing things. I would like to know one more things. Hassan, one picture of yours got viral during the football match. Tell us about that experience and what was about it.
Yeah, that was an amazing experience. I was at the World Cup in Russia with a couple of my friends, and I mean the environment there was insane. Very, 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 very fun. A lot of positive vibes in the air, and just people from all over the world. The experience in itself was amazing, but this picture in particular ended up happening on the first day of the tournament. Some fans were there and like, "Oh yeah, let's scare you up," and someone snapped a picture of it, I guess. And all of a sudden, I didn't know that the picture was taken. But like a day or two later, I saw a lot of like a lot of photos of it, I guess, and posts on it
Yeah,
on
in
Facebook
fact,
and all types of
in
social
fact,
media. I guess
yeah, in fact, Hassan, I saw your pictures on Facebook Facebook, and I was like, wow, I know this guy. He's my brother from Egypt, and I started sharing with Baham and all others. So it was like everywhere on social media. Hassan pictures with on wheelchair. People are lifting you. It was really, really awesome pic, and one of the best memory I can say for me. So yeah, it was really lovely, a lovely picture, and
Yeah,
got
it
went.
was definitely an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Hassan, I want to know. I know you are running one foundation called Al Hassan Foundation back in Egypt. So can you please tell us about the activities of Al Hassan Foundation and what is your role and responsibility there?
Yes. So the whole idea of the foundation and how it started was when I first had my accident. We had very little information, me individually and as a family. We didn't know how to deal with my injury. We didn't know how to deal with what comes after this. And we found a lot of people that helped us, gave us information about how to deal with it, and then uh, doctors, all different kinds of information. And from there, after my injury, a lot of people started calling us as a reference and like asking me, "Oh, how did you do this? How did you do that?" And it kind of, so we decided, okay, since we're doing, since a lot of people seem to need this information and they don't know where to get it, why can't we just maybe do this on a bigger scale and try to help as many people as we can? And eventually we started tackling more and more issues in Egypt, like the lack of accessibility, like the lack of awareness when it comes to disability. Uh, a lot of different topics that all kind of uh, rotate around the same theme, which is independence and inclusivity in the environment and in the society. So what we're trying to do is just promote inclusion, full inclusion of everyone in the society through various different projects like customized wheelchairs, like sports, raising awareness, having kind of events to have disabled people meet each other, and just changing their perspective on what they can do, and that there is no limit really to what they can do. They just have to do it in a different way. My role has been to, I mean, I've been taking a lot of hats in the foundation, but recently I've moved into uh, a little bit more sports focused goal on towards the foundation and towards Egypt in general. As you know, I'm very passionate about wheelchair basketball. So now I'm trying to promote the sport in Egypt and trying to a competitive league, or at least start a league that can eventually be competitive and give people the same opportunities that I had. Because in my opinion, wheelchair basketball changed my life and gave me opportunities that I would have not had otherwise. So having this chance to do that to someone else is the whole idea of the foundation.
That's absolutely great, Hassan, and you and your team is doing amazing work. I wish you all the best. And Hassan, yeah. So one more thing, recently you got one more responsibility. Like you have been selected as athlete representative for the International Wheelchair Basketball Federation. How do you feel with this responsibility, and how you are going to contribute in this?
It's amazing, honestly, and such an honor and a privilege to be part of this team. This is the first athlete steering committee in IWBF's history, and the whole idea is to make the athlete's voice more heard and include the athletes in decision made across IWBF and the wheelchair basketball world. Uh, and to me, it's like an amazing learning experience. I get to sit sit with some of the people that have been advocating for wheelchair basketball for years and have been working on this topic for 20, 30 years. So for me, it's just a chance to soak up all this knowledge and hopefully be helpful to Africa and try to develop the game in Africa and for the whole world, on a bigger scale.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. I do agree with you, and hopefully, inshallah, in future we will collaborate and we will do something better for Asia and Africa region. So, moving to the next question, and yeah, I wanted to ask you, as your favorite team is basketball and wheelchair basketball, I wanted to ask you one more question: what wheelchair basketball means to you actually in your life?
Sorry.
What wheelchair basketball mean to you in your life?
Oh, I mean everything, man. It's a source of happiness and inspiration for me. Like uh, it's kind of something that I found a little bit later in life, but it gave me a passion to do so much more, and I kind of discovered a lot more about myself uh, through this sport. And like I said before, it kind of changed my it changed the trajectory of my life. So it means a lot to me. Like I can't even put it in words, I would say.
I can absolutely understand. What is the best game memory you have played? Any memory you would like to share with us?
uh I mean
Any college
that's
games, or you have played so
yeah, I
many?
mean that's I mean, definitely the most memorable would be winning the national championship. But there are so many games that kind of you feel connected with that might not be as significant, but you kind of have a connection with them more. Uh, I don't know
Yeah,
if that makes sense, but
I can understand. Yes, of course, absolutely. So, what is your goal? Where do you see brother Alhassan in 10 years yourself?
I wasn't really. I was never really good at kind of drawing future mental picture of myself, but I I definitely like there are some goals that I would like to achieve, and one of them is, like I said, to establish a league in Egypt and start building the youth, like a base of youth players, of young players that can kind of carry on and hold and carry the torch to the future in terms of the Egyptian team and move it along and make it reach new heights. We have been struggling with the sport for a while now in Egypt, and I just hope to be that catalyst of change.
Yes, absolutely, Hassan. You are the catalyst of change. You are a change maker, I know, and together we will definitely bring the changes in the world. So, my last question to you, Brenda. It's not actually a question; it's a message. One message that you would like to share with the entire world, entire teenage, and entire people, please, from you.
I think during these tough times, like with everything going on in the world, it's just important for everyone to understand that we're all the same. We might just have differences, uh, like little differences, but when it all boils down to it, we're all the same, and we're all kind of we're supposed to be one. So I hope that everyone eventually sees this, and we can move on. It's hard with everything going on, but I think it's necessary for us to ask these questions and have these uncomfortable situations and uncomfortable conversations in order for the society as a whole to move forward.
Thank you so much, Hassan, for sharing this message, this beautiful message. And yeah, I wish sometime I could visit to Egypt and meet you there. And yeah, I can invite you sometimes in India. And definitely,
You're more than welcome to come. I'll be
yeah,
waiting for you, and you'll have a home here.
absolutely, absolutely. Feeling is mutual, brother. Thank you so much for joining me, brother. So, guys, please subscribe this channel and please comment on this channel. How do you like this? What do you like about this interview and what you want me to do in the next event? Thank you so much, guys. Thanks a lot. Salam to you,
Thank
Hassan
you.
and my brother. Love you.
Bye.